Well, kingdom blessings, EFAM. It's so good to sit there and see you guys. I know as we are getting so excited for tonight's Digging Deep, we just want you to come on in here. I'm looking for my influencers, looking for us to be able to see who's going to be one of my very first few influencers that's going to come on with me tonight. I'm really, really so excited. So as we wait for a few of you guys to come on into the chat, I just want to make sure that we see who's going to be one of the first ones to give our blessings to. But with that still being said, I hope that you guys have been excited about everything that's been going on, not only on our Wednesday service and our Wednesday Digging Deep with our teachings on what's happening now. Last week we had some powerful instructions as it relates to the women, and our role and where we stand and where is our place even on today. So just with that alone is something really, really so exciting and engaging for us to sit here and be participating in. But even prior to that, we know we had 3 dynamic teachers and leaders who were sharing us about the church relevancy for today. So with that being said, I'm really, really so excited still and continue what God is basically about to do and what he's continued to do even now as we move forward. With that being said, I just know that, during this time of the election, is a lot of things have been going on. Even on today, when my daughter went to vote, she was telling me about a lot of the stuff that was happening now and what was going on. Yes, even in the line while she was waiting, we had some wonderful people who was upset at the fact that, the sign was not actually standing up correctly, really took offense to the sign not actually showing up. You know what sign I'm talking about. Oh, yes, I am. I'm talking about that Trump and that Pence sign. So somebody obviously didn't like it, and so somebody actually sat there and put it down. So in the line, they was just going off, whatever. But at this time, the reality is this is not the time for us to be silent. This is the time for us to get excited and to get out and vote. So we definitely want you to be able to be engaging and to get out, cast your vote. That's going to be something we talk about a little bit later, but it's really, really important. If you haven't already heard, they saying November the 3rd is the last time. So if you have not did your mail-in ballot, I want you to get in there and put that ballot. Take it to the box. You don't put a stamp on it. Yes. Put your coat, get your shoes on, get in your whip, and go drop it inside that box. We want your vote counted, A-Fam. So that's my little plug for today along this particular line. Let me see who I got. Hey, good evening, Gloria. I'm so excited along that line. Markia, you joining us up tonight. So I'm so glad that you guys have decided to participate with us. But look, I don't want to take any more of this time because we have some dynamic people who's going to be coming on this evening. And look, you're going to want to hear what they have to say. Yes, what am I saying? It's going to be off the chain. So with that, I want to introduce to you guys our system of government new servant. Yes. I know you didn't think we had one, but yes, oh God, we got one now. So praise be to God. I'm going to bring on none other than Tiffany Burnham, who's going to lead us into the rest of our actual interaction for this evening. And so with that, I'm going to let her sit there and introduce herself. Tiffany, are you with me? Okay, let me see. I think I probably try to turn it off. Let me see. Come on, Tiffany. Come on back in here with.
There all you right, go. Can y'all hear me?
There you go. All
right. Thank you so much, Jennifer. My name is Tiffany Burnham. I am the new assistant leader of government, and I am very honored to do that. I am an ordained prophet, a member of Tefillah Prayer Ministry. I also authored 2 articles that was published in the Urban Faith magazine, and I currently work in the system of government. I have 2 dynamic speakers tonight. I trust these guys to give it all they have and give you what you need to be able to cast your vote in a manner in which you would know why. It is very important for us to vote in this season. I could not stress it enough, the importance of voting. So I'm going to bring up first Tony. I'm going to introduce Tony. He's going to be one of our speakers tonight, and then our very own Pastor Jeff. Tony, he's a minister. He's a former youth basketball coach. He is a dedicated father of two, and he carries the ministry of healing in his hands, you all. Yes, this man can heal. I promise you. We really need to really access the system of healing like never before. He really has it in his hand. So I'm going to introduce now Pastor Jeff. He is our very own. We know him. We love him. He is a father. He's our author. He's a motivational speaker. He is a philanthropist. He is an awesome, dynamic man of God. If you guys ever follow him on Facebook, you guys know exactly what he does. So now that I've introduced both of the panelists who's going to be speaking tonight, I want you guys to get prepared for what's getting ready to happen. We are getting ready to show a controversial clip, by our former president, Barack Obama, who spoke at the Philadelphia campaign for both Biden and Harris. And he delivered what the media likes to call a scathing takedown of President Donald Trump. And this clip is going to be followed by a clip that supports Donald Trump and all the things that he has been doing that people really come to learn and appreciate. So these clips we are getting ready to show you guys, and hopefully it will help shape and reform your way of thinking as far as how we should vote in this season. So Della, if you can go ahead and begin to play that clip. The name of our event tonight is going to be the virtual watch party. We cannot leave anything to chance. So Della, if you can go ahead and play that clip, I want to begin to show the people what it is that we see so that they can begin to start making an informed decision. I'm getting ready to show you guys, and hopefully it will help shape and reform your way of thinking as far as how we should vote in this season. So Della, if you can go ahead and begin to play that clip. The name of our event tonight is going to be the virtual watch party. We cannot leave anything to chance. So Della, if you can go ahead and play that clip, I want to begin to show the people what it is that we see, so that they can begin to start making
who are running for president.
I'm ready to show you guys, and hopefully it will help shape and reform your way of thinking as far as how we should vote in this season. So Della, if you can go ahead and begin to play that clip. The name of our event tonight is going to be
on your computer.
If you can go ahead and play that clip, I want to begin to show the people what it is that we see, so that they can begin to start.
Hold on 1 second.
I'm going to show you guys, and hopefully it will help shape and reform your way of thinking as far as how we should vote in the season. So
1 second.
If you can go ahead and begin to play that clip. The name of our event tonight is going to be
on your computer.
If you can go ahead and play that clip, I want to begin to show the people what it is that we see.
You know what goes on, fam. Technical difficulties. 1 second. 1 second.
You can go ahead and begin to play that clip.
On your computer.
You know what goes on, fam. Technical difficulties. 1 second. 1 second. Jesus Christ. Hold on 1 second, you fam. Hold on. Just trying to get this set up. Okay, there we go. Let me see. All right, here we go.
Man, I didn't know this was going to be that important for the devil to just kick
You
in.
already know, exactly. Okay, so let's try this one more time, fam. I do apologize. You know, this must be something hot, Miss Tiffany. So let's see if we can get this going one more time. There we go. All right, I think we got it now.
Sat in the Oval Office with both of the men who are running for president. And they are very different people. I explained that I never thought Donald Trump would embrace my vision or continue my policies, but I did hope, for the sake of the country, that he might show some interest in taking the job seriously. But it hasn't happened. He hasn't shown any interest in doing the work or helping anybody but himself and his friends, or treating the presidency like a reality show that he can use to get attention. And by the way, even then his TV ratings are down. So you know that upsets him. But the thing is, this is not a reality show, this is reality. And the rest of us have had to live with the consequences of him proving himself incapable of taking the job seriously. At least 220,000 Americans have died. More than 100,000 small businesses have closed. Millions of jobs are gone. Our proud reputation around the world is in tatters. Presidents up for re-election usually ask if the country is better off than it was 4 years ago. I'll tell you one thing, 4 years ago, you'd be tailgating here at the Link instead of watching a speech from your cars. The only people truly better off than they were 4 years ago are the billionaires who got his tax cuts. Right now, as we speak, Trump won't even extend relief to the millions of families who are having trouble paying the rent or putting food on the table because of this pandemic. But he's been doing all right by himself. As it turns out, this was just reported in the last 48 hours. We know that he continues to do business with China because he's got a secret Chinese bank account. How is that possible? How is that possible? A secret Chinese bank account. Listen, can you imagine if I had a secret Chinese bank account when I was running for re-election? You think Fox News might have been a little concerned about that? They would have called me Beijing Barry.
All right, I was just talking away. You guys didn't even hear me. Thank you for stopping that clip, Della, so much. First, I'd like to pose a question to Pastor Jeff, about the statement that Obama made concerning the 4 years ago being better off than it is today. So I say to you, do you believe that our nation, the United States of America, was better off 4 years ago? Or if so, why or why not?
I believe it was. I believe it is. I believe there was. Barack Obama had the unique ability as a leader to dispense hope, and there's certain things that leadership does, and certain qualities leadership does, and certain spirits leaderships release in the earth. And I believe there was a spirit of hope back then. If you remember back then, even there was a recession. A pretty terrible recession at that Barack Obama, in the time frame that he was our president, he led us out of that recession to some of the best days our economy has ever seen. And I know that Donald Trump don't always give him credit for setting the table for him coming into office, but the economy, the restoration of the economy, the spirit of leadership that he exudes creates a climate of hope and inspiration and motivation. And every time he opened his mouth, man, it was just so good back then for a lot of people. So yes, I do believe it was different.
Thank you, Pastor Jeff. I would like to pose a question to Minister Tony as well. President Obama mentioned how Donald Trump is currently taking this presidency as a reality show. I want you to elaborate more on the statement that was made when he stated that Donald Trump is taking this as a reality show.
Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right, because my screen just went still for a second. All right. As far as Donald Trump go, Donald Trump deserves an Emmy. He's one of the greatest actors ever to portray the role of the presidency. I don't think he really taken the presidency seriously. I think everything to him is to fill his ego. He has to be out front. He has to be seen. That's just my perception of how Donald Trump is. He wants all the attention like a baby. You got to give him all the attention. If you don't give him attention, then he whines and hollers and pokes his mouth out. And, to me, that's not being a great leader. Just that's my opinion. That's not a great leader. So, yeah, as far as I'm taking it seriously, I don't think so.
Okay. Thank you so much, Minister Tony. So for the both of you, I would like to know if you guys think that Biden perhaps would do a better job than Trump is currently doing, and why or why not?
Either one of us go first.
Take it. Mm-hmm.
I believe, let me first say that Biden has his faults as well. One of the things that I'm still not over is that 1994 crime bill that put so many Black men in jail. And I know at that particular time, there was a war on crime, crime rates, and I, just went back and did the history on it. Crime rates at that particular time, in 1994, it was pretty steady, but it was rising a couple of years prior to that. So, but when he put that in place, there were so many Black men that were incarcerated that are still incarcerated as of today, because there were mandatory minimums that were set forth, and in some cases, that was a 3-strike rule where if you committed a crime 3 times, you locked up for good. So there was too many terrible things that occurred as it relates to Black men, and it really didn't take into account the conditions that systematic racism has put Black men in. So I won't let Biden off the hook for that one. However, for these particular times, COVID-19 pandemic, racial inequality and injustice, and the protests that are going on as a result, all of these different things require leadership. And I believe also what Tony says, Donald Trump is Donald Trump, and leadership does not exude from Donald Trump. What you get is an entertainer. And we tried, and I know his base loves him, and they love him because he's not a politician. And that's what they love him for. But at the end of the day, the times that we live in requires the spirit of a leader. And I believe Biden has those leadership abilities.
All right. Thank you so much, Pastor Jeff. All right, Tony, Minister Tony, I posed the same question to you. Do you believe that Biden could or would do a better job than Donald Trump? Why or why not?
Look like he froze.
All right, let's give him a moment.
Yeah, I think he's coming back.
Well, I'm going to bring him back in once he actually come in. So EFAM, this is a good time for transition actually, because I know we had our little slow hiccup in the beginning, but that doesn't stop anything. As you can see, God always prevails. But this is also the moment where if you have any comments, questions that you want to pose to the panel as we're going forward, please make sure that you put them inside of the actual comment section. Why? Because we want to hear from you. This is really, really important. And something that's leading us. We only got one more week, you guys. So this is really, really exciting, really important. So we want to hear your comments. Want to hear from you any questions that you would like me to pose to Tiffany to ask the panel as she's going forth today. So trust me, this is really, 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 really exciting without that. So we want to definitely hear from you again. So Miss Tiffany, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Bella. Again, if you guys have any questions, pretty much pose a question to, we'll be excited to answer for you. I guess until Tony gets back on or comes back on, I do want to hit a couple of statistics that Pastor Jeff hit around. He did state that the economy about 4 years ago was in better shape, which I can attest because under Trump, under Obama, let's talk about Obama's administration, he enabled 7 million jobs. There were 7 million jobs that were added while he was the president of the United States versus Donald Trump. In his 4 years of presidency, we know that he added 6.4 million jobs. So that lets you know pretty much how the economy was doing around that time, and who pretty much did a better job within their 4-year reign. I also would like to add that, we do understand that during the pandemic, it caused the economy to fluctuate in a downward, area. So we can't totally blame Donald Trump for the failure of the economy and people lose a loss of jobs and different things like that. So we don't want to put that completely on him, but we do want to, make mention and make known that when Donald Trump came into office, he inherited an economy that was on the up and up. I mean, we were doing pretty good under the Obama administration, and he did inherit an economy that was on the up and up. So we don't want to completely blame Donald Trump. There was some things that he implemented that did kind of help the people. So some policies that he put in place to help the educational realm. And so, and that's all I have to say about that until we continue on. We're gonna welcome Tony back. Welcome back, Tony. All right.
Welcome. I'm sorry about that. I don't
Not
know
a problem.
I don't know
Not
what
a
happened.
problem.
You actually,
Had to go to
you
the old
actually
trusted
look
droid.
better and sound better.
Well, thank you. Had to go
All
to the
right,
old
Tony.
trusty droid.
All right.
I know I missed the whole dialogue, so I'm just gonna do some catch up here.
You didn't miss much.
Not a
Okay,
problem.
all right.
But the same
Okay.
question that I
All right.
posed to Pastor Jeff, Minister Tony, I'd like to pose to you as far as, do you think that Biden could or would do a better job than President Trump at this moment? Why or why not?
All right, I would say that I'm 50-50 on it because Biden has never been in charge, so to speak, over a pandemic. He's never been president. So I don't know how he would handle situations right now, how it is. He may do a good job, he may do a bad job, but as of right now, again, my opinion, I think Biden is all lip. He can talk a lot of, he's a good politician. So he's going to say the things that people want to hear. So yes, he's going to blast Trump because, he's saying that Trump can't do this, Trump is not doing this. But Biden is not in that position. So we can't say whether he'll do a good or lousy job, rather than Trump doing. And just to, continue on that, with the Black Lives Movement, again, with Biden picking Kamala Harris, I raised the question, if the Black Lives Movement wasn't going on, would he have done that? If the women movement wasn't going on, would he have done that? In my opinion, I don't think so, because history shows that, like Pastor Jeff said, back in 1994, the crime bill, that hurt African Americans. And, now he want to apologize to try to get everybody to get the African American vote to help him out. My opinion, oh, brother, you messed us up. Now you want to say you're sorry because you need us? That's not how it works, man. That's just my opinion.
That was good, Minister Tony. Thank you so much. All right, we're getting ready to finish the second portion of the clip. And Della, without further ado, if you can play the clip so that the people can see further what we see.
Okay.
It is not a great idea to have a president who owes a bunch of money to people overseas. That's not a good idea. I mean, of the taxes Donald Trump pays, he may be sending more to foreign governments than he pays in the United States. His first year in the White House, he only paid $750 in federal income tax. Listen, my first job was at a Baskin Robbins when I was 15 years old. I think I might have paid more taxes that year working at a dispensing ice cream. How is that possible? How many people here paid less than that? It's possible, just possible now, that if you are living high on the hog and you only pay $750 in taxes, that maybe, just maybe, he might not know what working people are going through here in Pennsylvania. We cannot afford 4 more years of this, Philadelphia. But the good news is, right now you can choose change. Right now you can vote for my friend Joe Biden.
President. Let's stop the clip and let us allow intersection and dive a little deeper into what was stated about Donald Trump's taxes. So this question I want to pose to Minister Tony, okay? What is your perspective on Donald Trump paying only $750 in taxes and not being able to properly relate to the working class American? What is your perspective?
As far as him paying just only $750 out of the 10 years, I like to know how he done it. I just, that's, you know, I'm not saying he's a super genius, but you know, back when I started my first job at Wendy's, I was making, you know, $3.35 an hour, and I don't think I was paying $750 worth of taxes. So how did he do it and get millions in return? I like to know without him going to jail. I like to know. That's something to think about. Now, if he fixed the tax laws where everybody would benefit like that, that would be great. I mean, that's something to look into. You know, think about it. If you only pay $750, and I know everybody gives thousands and thousands of dollars a year in their taxes, you know, payroll, all this stuff, and you only paying $750 and you get millions back. Let me in on that, brother. I'm just keeping it real. Let me in on that. How'd you do it without going to jail? Simple as that.
Oh, thank you, Minister Tony. That was pretty much liberating and hilarious. Also, as far as him relating to the working class America, what is your perspective on that? You know, because we know he was.
I think that, you know, for the most part, Donald Trump I don't think he has a blister on his hands, to be honest with you. He was born into a wealthy family. He probably never washed dishes. He probably never changed the flat. He probably never put a nail in the wall. You know, he probably doesn't know how to do none of these things. But in a sense, you can't blame him for being born into that, because if we were born into millions like that, we'd probably be the same way. Not that attitude, but we'd probably be the same way, kind of arrogant, you know, a little bit. It all depends, you know, how your upbringing. So his upbringing was that of what he's showing his upbringing right now, his true colors. But I ain't mad at him. I mean, you know, he's a millionaire. I mean, he probably never washed a car, you know, a lot of things he probably never done. So he really can't relate to a working man. His work is only lifting a pen. That's all he done, to sign business deals. That's his only thing right there. His only thing work he did, lifting this, that's it. And probably putting on his jacket for a suit. But I don't think he can relate to the working man. I really don't think he can.
Thank you, Minister Tony. And so I want to pose the same question to you, Pastor Jeff. Just the whole revealing of Donald Trump's taxes and how he only paid $750. What is your perception that he is equipped to really deal with the working class America? What's your perception?
Here's my perception of that $750. If Tony used the same tax accountant somewhere down the line you will be visiting him in jail. so that's a very creative accounting that somebody did for him. And I'm saying that, in being comical, but at the same time, it's a very serious matter. The thing that really from behind that is the fact that since he ran for president, he still hasn't released his taxes. And we're still waiting on it. And he keeps saying the same thing he's saying about healthcare. It's coming. I'm going to release them. My accountant going to release them. No, my accountant is holding on to him and he hasn't released them yet, but he's going to release them. So whenever you see something like that, man, that to me, something else is behind the scenes on that. Ain't nobody crazy. I'm a West Side dude. And so whenever I see this, it's this saying that says, it talks about character. Your gift will get you there, but your character will keep you. So his gift got him there. I'm questioning the character issue, man. So that's a concern of mine. Being able to relate to the normal human being, absolutely not. And I'm with Tony. I don't fault him for that because I heard one statistic where they said that he was getting when he got somewhere around 7 or 8 years old, he was getting a allowance of $200,000 a week, something like that. I can't relate, and certainly he can't relate to me growing up in the projects on the west side of Chicago. So no, he does not. He cannot relate to the normal man, and that's not his fault. That's just how he grew up.
Right.
But I will say there are opportunities, and I know millionaires who still can relate to me because they are people who have tried to keep their hands on regular people to understand and be, here's the word, empathetic to the plight of other people, knowing that their issues or their concerns are not like yours. You can still be empathetic. And I believe he chooses not to be.
Absolutely. I do believe that empathetic is key. I do agree with you on that, Pastor Jeff. Also, do you believe that Joe Biden is able to better serve the working class citizen?
I believe because
and if so, why?
He keeps talking about Scranton. He was raised in Scranton, and those, I don't know nothing much about Scranton. However, that area is a working class area. I do know that, and so he's able to empathize and sympathize with people. Somehow, Joe Biden has been able to maintain a level of relevancy because he's a relational type of dude. Absolutely. And so many times I've seen him talk to regular people and be in tears talking to them or listening to them about their current situation. That takes a special human being, and that I like that part of him. And at the end of the day, we all have character flaws, right? And so within those, our being, somehow we got to remain touchable, relatable, and being able to reach people right where they are. And somehow Joe Biden has been able to maintain that. And I think that goes a long way, particularly in these times when you're talking about racial injustice in particular and systematic reform and things like that. Those are important traits to have when you have to deal with those types of things.
We actually have a question, Ms. Tiffany, that I think is relevant to right where Pastor Jeff is at, and is actually very profound that this question is being asked right now. And so I want to read this question and then at the same time see if we can get some responses to this. It says here, evangelicals say a vote for Biden advances abortion and the same-sex marriage agenda, and that voting this way will send Christians to hell.
Well, I have a perspective on that matter. See, God gives you free will. So who are we to take that free will from any man who so desire to partake in that behavior? We have no say-so in what other people should do. So if that is the perspective of Joe Biden, if that is the perspective of Donald Trump to take away the will and the ability for people to abort their children, that's stepping into the God position. We don't have that position to step in. So I would say this, vote for the relevant, the president that's relevant of today, the president that we need today. Don't so much look into the political sector as far as what they're allowing or not allowing in that spectrum, because that's free will. And we can't really touch that. We can't touch it.
And as my grandmama said, you don't have no heaven or hell to put nobody in.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you to say who's going to heaven and hell? And I'm going to say this, at the end of the day, I have a lot of gay friends. I really do. Frat brothers and so on and so forth. And can I tell you, they're the most loving and wonderful people I have ever met on this earth. And I'm pretty certain that heaven, it will include them too. Sorry. Yes, I said heaven will include them too, because there are certain sins that are an abomination unto the Lord. There are certain things that you do and I do, and great men and women do of the cloth, that won't exclude them from coming to heaven too, because there's this thing called grace,
repentance,
and the blood of Jesus Christ, and that great work that he did that allows God to be able to see what he sees through the work of Jesus Christ, and he called it righteousness.
Amen.
Yeah, I don't think that if you vote for anybody, you're going to hell. I mean,
that's strong.
I don't think that I don't think that's biblical. I mean, if that's the case, then just, hypothetically speaking, everybody who voted for Obama may be going, because he initiated the same-sex marriage, if that's the case.
He sure did.
I mean, I don't see, I don't think you're going to hell for voting Biden, if that's what you want to do. I mean, I don't think you're going to go to hell for them. So each his own.
All right, thank you for that, everyone. All right, we want to continue playing the last piece of this clip, which is going to show supporters that share the perspective of Donald Trump and why they believe that he's doing such an amazing job as president today. So without further ado, this is the last portion of the clip that we're going to be showing tonight. So Della, take it away.
Trump prepares to come to Michigan in less than a couple of hours. A most unlikely group of people plan to be there to support him. 3 local Black women who are members of the group Black Voices for Trump say President Trump has created a more inclusive economy for Black Americans. And they tell me why, even during these divisive times, they still stand by the president.
I've read both, and the left has left us as Black folks.
And I read the Republican platform and I read the Democratic platform. Being a Republican, I see things getting done. I see the promises being kept. These 3 Michigan women are part of a small, but they say growing collection of Black Americans who passionately support the Republican Party. I've been a Republican since the 80s. When I went to college at University of Michigan in Ann Arbor and graduated there, that's when I became a Republican. I've been doing this a long time. I attended Howard University and voted for Reagan. And for me, it was just, I became born again when I was at Howard.
I've been a lifelong Republican as well. I think that there's a perception that Black Republicans somehow have forgot their roots or have sold out. And I've been accused of that. And that is unfortunate. But my voice is going to be heard with this president. And this president has a listening ear.
They want 4 more years of President Trump and believe empowering the Black community is and always has been a top priority for the president. They're able to separate what some don't like about his personality and stick to what they say are the facts. You go by personality, we won't like most of anybody. That doesn't have anything to do with why I have you as my president. Your comments, your fun, whatever you're doing, I'm looking at the policies. I'm looking at what you're getting implemented. I'm looking at what you say you're going to do next. I'm looking at the process in which you're going to take, how that's going to affect my community, how that's going to affect women in general. I made decisions based on the platform, based on the policies. They believe President Trump has championed a number of policies that have helped revitalize the Black community. including criminal justice reform, school choice legislation, and a better economy for Blacks.
Donald Trump has done a yeoman's job with uplifting our community with respect to educational choice. Betsy DeVos, whom I do love, and I know you can say whatever you want to about her, but my children graduated with scholarship because of school of choice.
If you know Trump's history, you know he has given to Blacks. He fought with Mar-a-Lago to make sure when he lived in Florida that Jews and Blacks would be allowed to go out there. If you look at his honest history, he does not have a history of racism. We don't have a lot of more times and choices to keep playing the game of I gotta like you. I need for you to do what you say you're gonna do so I can live.
We have become more politically intelligent as a result of this bravado of this man, Donald Trump. He has educated us on America first.
That's what I want 4 more years of. Give us opportunity zones, give us economic opportunities and training, and allow us to rise and fall on our own.
And President Trump's campaign stop here in Michigan tonight at MBS Airport in Freeland is set to get underway at 7. Our Mara McDonald is there. We'll check in with her at 6, and she'll have a wrap up of the rally tonight on Local 4 News.
All right. Thank you so much, Della, for showing that last portion. So, fellas, we saw the Trump supporters, and so we're going to open the floor up for both. For Pastor Jeff, I'm going to ask this question to you first. What do you think about what was stated in that clip? What's your perspective on what was stated? They basically said that they don't care about his character, but more so that he is implementing policies and he's doing what's necessary to make these different reforms that's making a difference in the Black community. What do you think about?
I'm gonna repeat something that I said earlier. Donald Trump is talented, and his talent has gotten him where his character can't keep him. Now, let me say this to you. I love my sisters that was in that doggone video. I love my sisters. But Donald Trump has done himself an injustice. What injustice has he done? He only speaks to his people. So whatever they're talking about if you knew Trump's history, I don't know his history because ain't nobody told me about it. Then she had to say, if you knew Trump's honest history. I don't know his honest history, but I know his dishonest history. Why can't I know about his honest history? I don't know nothing about it because he only speaks to his base. Let me tell you what else she said. She said he gets things done. His promises are kept. He empowers the Black community. I don't get that. Maybe because he's not talking to me, he's only speaking to his base. And because you're not talking to me, I can't hear you. All I can go off of was coming out of your mouth. And the Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And I'm hearing something totally opposite and in his actions from what those young ladies are speaking. So unfortunately, there's nothing for me. You've done nothing for me. There's nothing done for me in that dialogue.
Thank you, Pastor Jeff. All right, Minister Tony, I want to pose the same question to you. What is your perception regarding what was stated?
Well, let me say this. I'm not a professional comedian. However, that was some of the greatest performances I've ever seen in my life. I wonder if that was on Netflix. My thing is this here. I watched that clip over and over. If you pay attention, some of those still photos have been doctored. It's like 2 photos mashed together. She said one thing when she said that Donald, he kept his promises, whatever. But then at the end, she's begging for him to do some things. Take a look at it again. If you get a chance, family, look at it again. Look at the photos and then listen what she says at the end. And I don't know what African-American women that they're referring to, because Donald Trump has made some erroneous remarks about women in the beginning. The charges that came out against them, the 20 some odd women that You know, you got Bill Cosby sitting in jail right now for the same charges, you know, that's similar to what Donald Trump. And it's amazing how they sit there and say women for Trump. I don't get it. So I think that was a great performance by these three women. I applaud them for that. But in the same token, each his own. You know, each his own. That's their decision. If that's what they want to do. That's who they want to vote for. Each his own. You know, but great job, ladies, for acting.
Thank you, Minister Tony.
And I just want to mention this, a couple of things. One is I do know that he has, I think it was $500,000 that he gave to historically black colleges. Thank you for that. I also believe, and I read some time ago about his, I guess I would say overturning some of those policies that were within that 1994 crime bill. Appreciate that. I just don't see the effect that he is having upon the Black community, and some of the things that comes out of his mouth, it tends to make me believe that he's not interested in none of that. COVID-19, he's not interested in none of that. So I just go by what I hear out of people's mouth, which clearly is something that's a heart defect.
Thank you so much, Pastor Jeff. Just speaking to what some of the things that the women were mentioning in the clip, they did say that Donald Trump made an impact in the educational sector. We know that Elder Della, she is hands-on in the educational field. She works in that field. So Della, as far as the school of choice in which the women mentioned in the video clip, can you elaborate on that a little bit and tell the people exactly what that means as far as what Donald Trump did for the people, for the school of choice?
Well, you know, the whole purpose of bringing on Betty DeVos was really to really tear down the public school system. It's just as simple as that. You can't sugarcoat this in that regards. The whole purpose behind their image or their idea of school of choice is what they're saying is that traditional learning in public schools are not valued. That means that students go through public school system, that basically they are the level of intake and the knowledge that they're receiving is just substandard to if they was going to either a privatized school, charter school, or basically a school that's maybe located outside of their school district that can offer them better opportunities, better educational resources, better positions of gaining scholarships, funding that normally would not be so really that won't be really made available. That's what I wanted to say. That's the proper word inside of our local public school. And so parents have been given the option under the time, No Child Left Behind, but then now that has been pretty much downcasted. They're trying to implement this scenario in the system of school of choice. This is actually called educational choice, where parents are given this ability to be able to take away the federal funding for school districts and apply it to the child themselves through a voucher where they can go outside of their school district and go to whatever particular school that the parents deem will be necessary and will be beneficial for their particular child. You notice in the video, the first thing she said, my child graduated. So what she's saying is, if he would have attended a public school, then the opportunities or the fact of him graduating, you know, would have been very small. But not only did he graduate, but he got a scholarship. And so the thing about it is, they're saying that certain public schools, no matter what it is, their statistic status is so low to the point the fact of them getting a scholarship would be bare minimum. And that's not true. Just because I'm an inner city kid and I might go to an inner city school does not deem me to be any less qualified or quantified in my educational status because of the fact that this is the school that I'm attending. If you yourself have a child who basically bust over or was basically attend like a school like New Trier, and he had these additional services and he get Title I funds, then all of a sudden New Trier is getting Title I funds plus even more resources than ever before. Let's talk about it. The average median income in a school district like New Trier, some other schools that's out here in those rich suburbans is 350,000 plus. So federal dollars that can be going to make an even playing in local inner city school, that's going to economies and school districts that basically really is getting fat, and they're not using any of their actual funds in their school district. So yeah, of course they're going to scholarship when every kid has a laptop. Every kid gets a tablet. The school system, every room has a smart board. They have brand new books. Our books in the school system, especially in the school that I taught in, I'm literally putting duct tape on the book. And I'm talking, these books are so antiquated and so outdated. I got a book that's 20 years old, but I'm supposed to teach mathematics from this book that's 20 years old, which the whole structure of presentation of mathematics is totally different. So yeah, they trying to hype that up by saying, if you take these federal funds and allow these parents to go to whatever school they want to go to, then their child will do better. Instead of them investing the federal dollars into the resources for the inner city kids and making that even playing. So charter schools getting money, private schools, they talking about vouchers is being set out, but really our kids is the ones suffering and not getting the benefits from it. So it's not, you're not getting fat off that. Yes, her kid might have graduated. Yes, her kid might have got a scholarship, but let's keep it 100 because all the money's going to that school, not going to that kid and not going to the district by which he should be in, and he could learn and he can excel. There's many good things come out of inner city. I graduated from Westinghouse Vocational High School, baby. Might not have a gym, but I guarantee you I was number one in my class. And when I went to these nice little wonderful schools, I got accepted in 4 Ivy League coming from Westinghouse Vocational High School. Don't get me started.
Thank you so much.
I think we already did.
Thank you so much. That was very I'm glad that you were able to articulate and explain exactly what that meant so that people can be aware of what exactly is happening in our educational system and what Donald Trump has done. So this will be one of my final questions posed to everybody. Why does Obama word still matter today? In such a time as this, what president do you feel will benefit our concerns of today? Be it racial injustice, immigration laws, the urgency to act on the behalf of Americans during pandemic. What do you guys, who would be the president of today and why? In short, so I'm going to give that to Minister Tony.
Yeah, I think President Obama is still relevant because he still holds that title of the first African-American president. And people love to listen. He has charisma, charm. He has the whole nine. He's intelligent. He articulates well. So when he speaks, like they say, what back in the day, Abe Hutton, when he speaks or whatever, everybody listens. When President Obama speaks, everybody listens. So he's still relevant. What was the other part of the question?
Who would be the president that we feel that will benefit our concerns of today? Who would be the best choice as far as voting? Now we're getting back into that sector of voting. Either Joe Biden.
Okay, as far as or Donald Trump.
Or Donald.
It's a toss-up. Both of them have their flaws. Well, both of them have their faults. It's a toss-up. I can't say today whether it's going to be Trump or Biden is going to be in the White House. I mean, I can voice my opinion who I would love to see in there, but it's like you got to pick the lesser of the two evils. Both of them are. One is a career politician, one who's never been in politics. I think that probably got in his favor because he wasn't a politician. That's probably why he got in the White House. But both of them have their flaws and faults, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. My only thing is I just encourage everybody to vote, period. Do your part. Do not be the one that's sitting out there and complaining about who the next president is if you didn't vote. You have no say-so in the matter because you didn't vote. So get out there and vote. Simple as that. Vote for who you choose. I mean, who you believe is going to be the next president, who you believe is going to be the best for the country.
Thank you so much, Minister Tony. So now, Pastor Jeff, I know mentioning that earlier.
Barack Obama is one of the greatest orators this earth has ever seen. That's why his voice is so important. And when he does speak, everybody listens. And I will say this about him that I just can't believe. Does he have a flaw? I wonder whether he got one, because this dude comes off as just a stellar guy. Everybody loves a Barack Obama. And I think that's why, sometimes we forget about, we use this word influencers all the time.
Mhm.
A true influencer draws you in. Barack Obama draws people in. And in a lot of times, going through his 8 years in the presidency, there was a lot of people who didn't like him, but they only didn't like him because it was either envy, jealousy, or just flat out racist. There was some handshakes that people from other nations just walked past him because they didn't want to touch his hand. But then this guy still exudes character and integrity, regardless of what he's going through. And he's from Chicago. So, hey, that's how we roll. So that's my dude right there. Now, the other side of this, and I'm not going to say who I vote for, but I'm going to say this. You mentioned all of the issues that we have concerns about: COVID-19, racial injustice, racial inequality, the issues with immigration. All of those types of things are going to require a leader that has empathy, a leader that can sympathize, a leader that has a plan, a leader that everybody can look to and say, I feel comfortable with this person getting us through these difficult times. Whoever that person is for you, vote. I'm with Tony, vote. Let me just mention this other thing as it relates to the current climate that we're in. All of these things have come so that God can do some great things in this earth in terms of providing the solutions and the answers. And so the next president of the United States has got to be one that can provide the solutions and the answers to them. And I'm going to vote for that person that I believe can give me that. Because at the end of the day, I'm 55 years old. Whoever I vote for right now is going to have an effect on me and my children for the most part. I don't have any grandsons and granddaughters yet, but it'll have an effect there as well. So I'm ready to come out of COVID-19. But somebody's got to decide that they want to deal with it. And I believe the person that I'm voting for can do it.
Thank you so much, Pastor Jeff. And there you have it, folks. I would like to conclude this show on the importance of choosing the candidate wisely. We have 7 days until Election Day. Next Tuesday will be November 3rd, our official day to elect who you feel will be the president that we need today. And thank you so much for having us. Thank you, Pastor Jeff, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Tony. Thank you, Della Major, for giving us your wonderful input. And good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, before we leave, EFAM, as always, we give a kingdom perspective. I want to thank you for joining. I mean, you guys was really making some powerful comments, but at the same time, at the end, it's exactly what we were just saying. They're saying, get out and vote. And so as Tiffany said, make your choice. Why? Choose your choice. Choose your person wisely, whomever you're going to select. So with that being said, Pastor Jeff, you're going to be leading us out in our kingdom perspective. So you go forth and give us our kingdom perspective.
Okay. As we are 6 days away from the most important election our nation has ever seen, we find ourselves in these absolutely challenging and for some families, tragic and horrific times. In these times, we must do something. One of my favorite historical accounts in the Bible is about these 4 lepers that were sitting outside of a city. And they were sitting outside of a city at a time when there was war. They were surrounded by an army and there was a famine in the land. And these lepers were outside of the city because they weren't invited in because of the disease that they had. But these lepers made a statement. They said, why sit we here till we die? And they made a decision to go into that city, and their life changed as a result. They did something. It's time for us to do something. COVID-19, racial injustice that has caused racial unrest, police shootings and beatings of African Americans, and the systematic racism that has economically, educationally, socially, and politically suppressed our entire race of people must finally be annihilated. For that to happen, we must do something. Reform must occur in every system that is in every culture around the world. Those are the systems of business, the systems of faith, the systems of government, the system of family, the system of arts and entertainment, the system of media, and the system of education. These systems are causing us in this current form to suffer in many ways. The Bible says in Matthew 11:2, when the kingdom suffers violence, the violent take it by force. On Tuesday, November 3rd, we have an opportunity to reform the office of the President of the United States. This is not about a man. As we have said so many times in this conversation that we had, all men and women have faults, frailties, and flaws. Yet, character is important. Character is revealed by what comes out of the mouth of men. Matthew 12:34 says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So it is not about a man. It's about, listen to me, the spirit of leadership. The spirit of leadership. Yes, leadership is a spirit. And everybody doesn't possess that spirit. We must choose who possess the spirit of leadership. So as you go into the polls on Tuesday, your vote will decide something very critical at this moment in time. Your vote will decide who will lead us out of the major problems that we face in our nation. I cannot tell you who to vote for, but as spiritual and kingdom people, you must be aware of the climate that is on this earth that God gave to us. God gave this earth to us. If you read I believe it's in the book of Psalms, he said, I've given the earth to the children of men, or the children of mankind. He has given us this earth. It's time for us to take control of it so that the prophecy that is in Revelations chapter 11, verse 15 shall come forth. And I believe that November 3rd of 2020 is a part of that prophecy. What is that prophecy, Pastor Jeff? That the kingdoms of this world shall become the kingdoms of our Lord and his Christ, and he shall reign forever and ever. Your vote will cause that prophecy to come forth. Vote. God bless you.
God bless you. And I want to thank you, Pastor Jeff, for that kingdom perspective. And what can I say? I couldn't say it no different and no better. And I really, really so inspired just by that particular point. So, EFAM, thank you for joining us this evening. We already know that it's been time well spent, time actually going forth. I know we went over just a little bit of our time, but yet still, I never want to leave this opportunity to basically be able to sit here and come before you and really present to you the opportunity to be part of the fold. If you don't know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior and for the free pardon of your sin, Romans 10:9 said that if you confess in your mouth, believe in your heart that Jesus Christ is the Son of God and that he died and rose on the third day for your sins, that it says you shall be saved. And just by a simple matter of a prayer, and that prayer is simple as that, if you follow along with me, Father God, I might not know you right now, but I believe in my heart that you are the Son of God and that you died and you rose on the third day and took on my sin. Now, Lord, come into my heart and own me as your child, and I will live for you all the days of my life. And if you prayed that simple prayer with me, then it says that you are saved. But it doesn't stop there. We want you to be connected to a Bible-based believing church where you can continue to be discipled and continue to get fed. We welcome you to join us here at Valley Kingdom Ministries International. As a matter of fact, we have the connection card as well as the information right there in the comment section. Make sure you leave your information. Connect with us so we can stay connected to you. And if you enjoy what you heard and listened today, we definitely welcome you to donate to this ministry. Why? Because the Feast of the Lord is going on, but even the more, it allows us to continue to be able to reach out into the nations and do great things for the kingdom of God. And with that being said, fam, thank you for joining us this evening on this What's Happening Now and this powerful, robust conversation. Until I see you again, you know when? That's going to be this Sunday at 9 a.m. right here on the VKM channel as we go forth with the Valley Experience. But before you go at 9, join us on Sunday School at 8 a.m. at that same time. You know how I end my call. You know I love you with the love of Christ. Till I see you again. Shalom, shalom.